Morning, everybody. So this is going to be a pretty short one, just to get you started this morning. First of all, make sure, as just a reminder, make sure you are following through the course in the order that it was laid out. There's a reason for the, I don't just put things out randomly, or I open everything up all at once. It makes people get lost very quickly. So make sure you are following the course as I've laid it out. You'll see that certain concepts come back to play in other things. If you did it out of order, when you go to talk about the macroeconomics and the economy as a whole, you would have no idea. If you'd skip the micro part, you wouldn't know what the individual markets are doing, and therefore the big picture doesn't make a whole lot of sense without the little picture. Anyway, that being said, the other thing, still not enough people taking advantage of the alternate portfolio tool. If the portfolio app was not working for you, and that's totally fine, the other way is easier, I think, anyway, and it's more organized. I have a short video on how to use it. Make sure that if you have no portfolio stuff, make sure you get it in there. That is the easiest place and the most, like I said, the most organized place to do these things. And I have to say, there's only so much I can get out of you from your writing and your discussions, that some of these different portfolio drops that I've had you do, like the videos and you explaining things, really helps me understand what you understand. It really gives me a lot of nuance when it's not coming across necessarily in your writing. So it is totally valuable for you to get on that bus, right? Get those things in. All right. So today we're going to start. We're almost done, by the way. Almost. I don't know if you noticed that. Almost done. We're just going to tackle the idea of the big goals for the world when it comes to like the UN and stuff like that. So the world has what are called Millennium Development Goals, and we're going to kind of look at those. And one of the things, of course, is the elimination of poverty by 2015, I believe it was. Obviously, that hasn't happened, but big strides have been made. And one of the things that you can probably appreciate is the inability for people that don't have money now to be able to make purchases that would benefit them. Like if you're somebody, like in Canada, if you think about it, if you live in an area where there's no public transit and you need to get to work, you need to have access somehow to a vehicle or something. Or if you need specific training for something. These are like Canada issues. These could be a lot smaller in other countries. And it's hard to get financing for loans of any size in any country if you don't have, the means to back that up. So you guys at this moment wouldn't have any experience really in loans because, well, you're probably not old enough to have to go through that. But when you do, of course, they take your credit history and all that kind of stuff, and your current income, and all those things factor into it. Basically, because money, lending institutions, banks mostly, want to know they're going to get their money plus their interest back. Right? We've looked into how banking works. That's the basic goal for them. In countries where banks, might be an issue, or just liquidity of I don't want to say cash, but I'll just say cash, but of resources is difficult to come by. There's an idea of microfinancing or microcredit. Okay, so it's one of these tools that they've been experimenting with to fight poverty. And what I'm going to have you do this morning, right, is there's another video to watch on a specific individual who champions this idea. So you're going to watch that as well. But what I want you to do is I want you to look at what is microcredit. Okay, what is it? How does it work? So these are things, again, these are notes that you're going to take because in the afternoon you're going to have a project on it. So what is it? That's terrible. What is it? There you go. Good grief. What is it? How does it work? Where is it being used? And how effective is it? Okay. So those are the big things you're going to be taking notes on. What is it? How does it work? Where is it being used? How effective is it? You'll have a video to watch, plus I'll gather a few resources and everything for you to look at. But I really want you to get your head around the idea of microcredit and why it's important, because it's one of those innovations that might help us solve poverty issues in areas where traditional loans and stuff wouldn't work. So just in general, just to cap this whole thing off, in general, when you have a country that has a lot of poverty, one of the institutions that would come into play would be like the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund, or the World Bank. And they would basically loan that country money. And a lot of times they loan the money not to loan then the money back to the people, they would loan it for major infrastructure projects. And then they want the money back plus interest, because it's just like any institution, any bank. And the problem is that then you'd have these countries that put in these massive infrastructure projects wouldn't be able to pay these loans back. And their economy would be dragged down by these loan payments. So microfinancing is a different way to look at how to address poverty within a country on an individual basis, right? There are other things that are going on in the world as well, but this is one we're going to look at now. So, all right. So get on those 4 questions, make your notes, and then you'll see what you're doing in the afternoon.